So what's up? Now, I know I mentioned something about I haven't been able to get my shot. Well, a refill. And this is the situation for anyone that cares, because I know I do. But the situation is, I'm in Texas, in Houston, Texas, and I have insurance through my employer, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I've been seeing a therapist since February. And the therapist wrote me a letter, and I took that letter to an endocrinologist that's known for helping trans people out. So he does a lot. He has a lot of diabetic patients. I'm not diabetic that I'm aware of. Um, so this guy, and also I found out through another trans person that she went to the same endocrinologist. I didn't know anybody that actually went there. I just looked them up online, and I found this endocrinologist. And so when I actually met a person that used him as a doctor, it really made me feel good. And but she told me that she has Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Blue Cross Blue Shield doesn't accept, or doesn't accept, trans related care. So she said that this doctor, is a good thing that I am going to him, because he would code it as a hormone deficiency. So I said, okay, good. So I went to the appointment, paid my copay, went back there, and asked me the questions and everything, whatever. So he did all this and that, took blood work, and then he told me in 3 business days, I'll get my blood work back, and to call up there. And my next appointment would be to go ahead and get my shot, and so just to make sure my levels were okay, and just to see how much tea I should be taking and everything like that. So I called in to see if my blood work came in, and it did come in. I went up there the very next day after the 3 days. So on the 4th day, I went up there, and that's when they told me that the insurance doesn't cover the trans-related care. Oh, actually, over the phone, before I even went up there, when I talked to the nurse, she told me that it doesn't cover trans-related care, and I would have to pay for my prescription out of pocket, which was $110.99 even. So I said, well, you can't code it as a hormone deficiency. I said this over the phone, and she was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, okay. So when I got up there, I kind of asked her about it again, and she just acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. And I didn't want to mention the person that told me that they did that for them, because I didn't want to get them in trouble, because I don't know really how much she knew, which she probably knew a lot, I don't know. So I just said, whatever, go ahead, I'll pay out of pocket. So good thing there's a pharmacy right downstairs. There's a Walgreens pharmacy. I went down there, picked up my prescription, and brought it back to the clinic, and the nurse, I had her do my shot for me the first time, and now I do them all myself. So now that's done, I have to pay out of pocket. So that copay just went towards the office visit, and the office visit was like, the visit alone was over $400, and then I paid out of pocket for the 5-month supply of tea. So it could get pretty expensive, and I'm still paying for my therapy you know. So I decided, open enrollment came up. I've been working at this job for about 7 years, and I've been having health insurance through this job for 7 years, and a lot of changes have been made. We went from, like Blue Cross to UHG, back to Blue Cross. Just a whole bunch of changes. So, I decided that I'm not gonna enroll in insurance for this enrollment period because, for one, the cost of it actually doubled for the same exact insurance, and on top of that, it still doesn't cover transplanted care. So there's no use in me even carrying this insurance. So right now I'm on the hunt for some better insurance. In the meantime, I've been checking out these clinics around town and stuff, and a few months ago I went to this clinic. If anybody's in the Houston area, you may or may not know about Legacy Community Health Clinic. You may or may not know about HACS, HACS. And that's another clinic. That one is better than Legacy. Legacy takes you too long. But so I went to Legacy. Everybody was telling me how Legacy is so good and everything. And they go by your income. So they do the sliding scale. And there's only one doctor, Dr. Vanek, in the whole place that does HRT. So long story short, it took me over a month. I tried to get ahead because I knew, okay, in August I had, took my first shot, and I was told that, my insurance doesn't cover. So in August, I called Legacy. They told me to come up there. I went up there for my eligibility. They told me that I made too much money, so I wouldn't qualify for any type of discounts. So they told me to see what I can do to make my check shorter. Like, I had a lot of OT and stuff like that on my check. So I came back a few weeks later when my checks were a little bit lower, and got like a 20% discount. It wasn't significantly different, but I got a sort of discount. Went back. By that time, it was September, but like towards the beginning of September, and so I qualified, and then they set my appointment that day. My appointment was set for October 31st. So a whole month has gone by, and I'm not necessarily tripping because I already know that I already have my T. So I'm not even worried about it. So I do that, and then on October 31st, I go to the appointment. Right before it, I had a buddy of mine. He was like, "Oh man, that's all bad. Don't go to Legacy. She's not going to want to give you your prescription. She's going to make up all this type of stuff and this and that." So I was like, well, and then I start getting more and more people saying stuff like that, and I'm like, damn, why didn't y'all tell me this? I wouldn't even wasted my time. I would have tried something else. And that's when I was told about HACS. So I went to the appointment on October 31st. They took my vitals and everything. The lady, she really wasn't trying to give me, she really wasn't. She was like, oh, asking me about my family history. And as you all can tell, I am overweight. But I don't have any health issues right now. So, and I haven't had any in the past. So, my vitals were good, but she kept telling me my oxidation. She's worried about my oxidation. I'm like, how can you tell that and you haven't done nothing but took my weight, my blood pressure, and my heartbeat, my heart rate. And my blood pressure was normal, by the way. It was like 119 over 80, 89 or something like that. It was normal. So she was talking about my oxidation, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm worried that if you start tea, that you're just gonna have all these problems. I don't think that you should start. You should be on tea, and you need to lose some weight." And I was like, "Yeah, I know that. That's fine. Actually, I did lose a lot of weight, and then I gained it all back because I had an injury." I explained all of that to her and everything, and she was like, "Well, yeah, we can't. I can't do nothing for you." And I was like, "I knew you would say this, but I've been on tea for a couple of months now." And she was like, "Oh, really? Let me see your prescription." And I said, "Well, I don't have a prescription, but I do have my blood work. I brought my blood work from the the endocrinologist." So she asked me, who the endocrinologist was and everything like that, and what's my dosage. So she saw the blood work. She didn't even look at it. She just skimmed it. She didn't even look to make sure this was this and that was my blood levels were right, because my blood levels were perfect. He checked me for everything. So she was like, "Okay, well, this was," and she asked me when was this, and I said, "Well, this was before I had my first shot, so I haven't had a update yet." He told me to come back in 3 months. So she said, "Okay, let's get your blood work done today, and then we can set your appointment." And I said, "Well, my last shot was the other day." And she was like, "Okay, well, let's I take my shot every other Friday." So that day, I don't remember if it was a Friday or not, but she told me to come back on that Friday so I can in a trough, so I can be in a trough. That's what they call it. TROUGH. So I came back. No, actually, I didn't come back. So she said, so we can do your blood work and then set your appointment." So I went to the front. The blood work was gonna cost me $100. It's gonna cost me $97 for everything. She's gonna do the complete blood work, and then my appointment. And this was in October 31st. My appointment isn't until January the 30th. I had an appointment on October 31st. They wanted me to come back that Friday to get my blood work, and she was going to give me my results and let me know whether I can take tea or not on January 30th. It don't take 2 or 3 months to get blood results. It don't take and I don't feel like waiting 2 or 3 months for you to tell me that no, because I feel like you wanted to tell me no from the beginning. So I didn't do it. I was supposed to come back that Friday, whatever, and I didn't do it. So in the meantime, I was trying to get through with hacks, because I heard hacks get you in the door like that, and they try their best and do what they can, whatever. But apparently I still make too much money. So right now I'm just really trying to figure it out. And I did go to Dr. Kovacs like everybody was telling me to, and I went up there actually December the 2nd. I went up there, and come to find out, my damn insurance, because I told you at the beginning of the video that I opted out of, in open enrollment, I opted out of my insurance. My insurance ended on December the 1st. Actually, actually, yeah, on December the 1st. So I was a day late. And I was so pissed off because I thought it was from January to January, but apparently it was from December to December. So I feel like I could have had my my tea by now. So now I'm on the hunt for insurance. I'm looking on the marketplace. I've called Cigna and a couple of other places. And Cigna, he said, well, what's the prescription called? I was asking him, do they cover trans-related care? I've been looking online. Haven't had any such luck. I'm trying to find an insurance policy maybe in another state that I can use in Texas to see if I can do it that way. Because apparently in Texas, all the Texas insurances don't cover trans-related care unless I'm missing something or somebody can inform me. But I'm in the search for that. I was on the phone with Cigna for a long time, and he really did try to help me out. He said, well, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't really know what HRT is. And I told him the name of the drug, testosterone. He's like, oh, well, we cover that drug. And I said, yeah, I know that. For the most part, pretty much all insurance, even Medicaid and Medicare, covers testosterone, cypionate, however you pronounce it, cypionate, whatever. Cypionate, whatever. But for the reason that I wanted, that's really what it boils down to. That's really what the issue, the concern is. You know, he really wasn't. It really wasn't getting through to him. You know, I know that they cover it because my insurance that I had, Blue Cross, covered it too, but not for trans-related issues. It's for, you know, hormone deficiency or cancer or whatever else problems or, you know, medical issues you have. So, you know, he steady tried to sell me the insurance, gave me email. But, so I'm still in search for that. If anybody knows or has any information, just let me know. Alright, well, I think this video has been long enough, so, alright, talk to you later.